Okay, I am Anita Bowser. I'm the interviewer today. It's November 21st, 2024, and I'm here interviewing Lori Hinderliter. And Lori, when did you first get your first ever library card?
I think I must have been my first official card. I was probably in junior high school, but I should explain that because I had gone to a library before, but the little town that I grew up in did not have a traditional library. Our library was actually in the basement of a couple's home that they left the door open way back then when they were home, and you were welcome to go into the basement, look through the collection, and you just signed your name out on a card. So we didn't really have an actual library card. So I would say my actual official library card was probably in junior high, because then I came to the Butler Library here to do research for school projects, and that's probably when I actually had my first official library card.
Do you remember who you would have come to the library with?
Oh, I'm sure it was my parents. It could have been my dad, my mom. It might have been both of them.
So how did you come to work at the Butler Area Public Library?
So my path to the Butler Library was a long journey in some ways, but not so long in others. I originally went to college for, I was going to have a dual major of library and elementary education. When I got to the university at Slippery Rock, my advisor strongly discouraged me from getting my library degree. And so I just went in the path of elementary education. So after I received my bachelor's degree, I went ahead and went to Kent State, and I got a master's in early childhood education. But the library was always my love, and so I eventually then went and got my master's in library science at Clarion University. Before I graduated, actually, I was offered a job as assistant director / children's librarian at the Grove City Public Library, community library. And I worked there for approximately 6 years. And one day, one of my coworkers told me that they had had read in an email about a children's librarian job that was open here. So they thought I should apply. I did, and back then I thought, oh, I will never get this job. It just seemed like such a big library compared to where I had been working. But Betsy Gibson, the director at the time, I had an interview with her, and she hired me. And so I have been here now. I believe I'll be starting my 23rd year actually, in February.
That's amazing. It's ironic that your advisor told you, steered you away from library science. Well, can you tell me about your work as a children's librarian?
Sure. Children's literature and children are just something that is a passion, and it will always be in my heart. And I had some of the best times working with the kids. They actually taught me more than I ever would have shared with them. I loved their laughter, their stories, their insights. A lot of times, I think adults don't really listen to young children and really think about what they're saying, but I think they really provide a lot of insight that you often miss.
So can you describe your work as the director?
As the director, I would say, number one, no 2 days are ever alike. I am a combination of an administrative type of work as far as clerical. I act as a social worker, untrained some days, sometimes a security officer. It's just a combination of things. I talk with other library directors and just people in the field that what you learned in library school doesn't even begin to cover what you are challenged with, or just decisions you have to make on a daily basis. But I love it because You are working with the public, and we have some fabulous people that I have met over the years and have developed rapport with. So, but it's definitely a little bit of everything.
So, what are some of the most striking changes in the library since you've...
I mean, this is going to be cliche, but it is true. Technology, obviously. I mean, when we first started, we were, when I was working in Grove City and even here, we had cassette tapes. And then it moved, and VHS tapes, and then it moved to DVDs and CD-ROM, CDs, CD-ROMs. And then there was a big push for a little while about high definition and Blu-rays, which, I mean, still exists, but the hype didn't really follow, it didn't follow through, right? And now we have streaming, and we have e-readers, and we have, we started out with Nooks, if you remember those. And now, we do a lot of streaming. We still have devices, Kindles, and those kind of things, but they've evolved, obviously, too. So technology for sure. I think the way that we distribute information has changed somewhat. We have a lot of electronic resources now. So not that we've replaced everything as far as print information, but we can provide a lot of relevant, up-to-date information with the electronic platforms that we couldn't do with print. Mm-hmm. Print's always going to be, we're always going to have books, we're always going to have things in print, but that is shifting away, I think, for more of the nonfiction reference types of materials, especially, I think, because it's easier to keep it up to date. I would also say, just in a general sense, of our community has become more diverse, and we have truly become a community center here at the library. So those are some changes that we've seen over the last 20 plus years.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I would say that libraries truly are a part of the community, a central part of anyone's community. I don't think they're beginning to become irrelevant. I think they're really an important part of helping people, whatever it is that they need, but to empower them to find information, entertainment, whatever it is that's their passion or their needs. I think we're always going to be here to help them navigate that.
That's great. Thanks a lot, Lori.
Thank you.